The Chalcedon Foundation presents Larceny in the Heart, The Economics of Satan and the Inflationary State, written by R.D. Rushdoony, narrated by Nathan F. Conkey. Introduction. One of the encouraging facts of our time is the rise of many able economists who are calling attention to the economic follies of our time. These are men of the Austrian school in the main. My debt to them is very great. I first learned the facts of sound money from Dr. Elgin Grosclose, then on economics in general from Dr. Hans Senholz, and by no means least of all from my son-in-law, Dr. Gary North. The writings of many men, such as von Mises, Ropke, Hazlitt, Greaves, Reisman, and many, many more, have taught me much. We have today some excellent work done by the Foundation for Christian Economics, Gary North, the Foundation for Economic Education, Leonard Reed, and the Institute for Monetary Research, Elgin Grosclose, to name but a few. Excellent economic reporting by newsletters also marks our day. Dr. Gary North's Remnant Review, R.E. McMaster's The Reaper, the International Harry Schultz Letter, and more. Why then this book by an outsider, a theologian? Inflation is only in part and on the surface an economic problem. It is at heart a religious and moral problem. This is the fact that men avoid recognizing. Bernie Ward, writing on the psychology of gold in Sky magazine, June 1980, the Delta Airlines in-flight magazine, sought to explain the use of gold in Freudian terms. Man's quote-unquote need for gold was explained away in terms of man's supposed immaturity and need for symbolic crutches. Not for a moment did Ward give consideration to economic factors. This should not surprise us. Modern man wants no factor external to himself to determine any facet of his life. Because man is determined to play God, he will not recognize any law order external to himself which can govern his way of life and impose limitations upon his fiat powers. Our world economy is today bankrupt because the world is morally and religiously bankrupt. We cannot restore our economic order without first of all restoring moral order. It has been often stated that inflation is larceny, but it is larceny not only by the central civil government or state, but by every man. Because man has larceny in his heart, he creates an inflationary economy, that is, he legalizes his will to steal. The corruption of money is a means of sinning legally, and men want nothing more than to sin legally and to call it virtue or prosperity or some like term. Economists are not lacking to say that it is so. The world has always been a good market for prostitutes and a poor one for truth. However, because the world is God's creation and law order, it is the truth which in time shall prevail and triumph. Rousas John Rushdoony, Chalcedon, Vallecito, California. Note: thanks are very, very much in order to Mr. Martin Silbredi, who donated his services to set type for this book, and also for Dr. Edward Murphy's In Your Justice for Ross House Books. Mr. Silbredi's understanding of, faith in, and concern for the cause of Christian reconstruction is a joy to me. The chapters on Economics and the Doctrine of Man and The Polytheism of the Modern Mind, Political and Economic Heresies in the Modern Age, were prepared for and delivered to the Economic Institute for Research and Education, 1005 12th Street, Boulder, Colorado, 80302. The former was published by EIRE under that title. I am grateful to Professor Fred Glahe and the Institute for the opportunities and their gracious reception of my studies. Manichaeanism, Law and Economics was first published in Chalcedon's Journal of Christian Economics, Volume 2, Number 1, Summer 1975. I am grateful to Mrs. Elizabeth MacEachern Miller for her permission to reprint her address to the Money and Inflation Conference.